Welcome back. We're back with the real podcast, but now in a little mini format to give you guys a little taste of what we had cooking up for you later on the line. Right now we got this little mini-sode, how I like to call them. What are we calling them? We are the Travelers of the Night. I'm joined by my host, Nicholas, my brother of mine, because we'll be talking about each episode of Moonlight that we came out of watching. We watched it separately, but we both feel that it's probably one of their best Marvel TV shows, and it was 10 out of 10 each episode. I know each episode had its ups and downs. Don't get me wrong. There are things wrong with the episodes. We will get into that. But overall, they were still 10 out of 10 in my book. Nicholas, how are you feeling about the Moonlight as a series?
Oh my gosh. Where can I even start this up? Alright. Out of all the MCU shows before this one was my favorite. I mean, like, come on. Come on.
Did
For a
you?
character, for a character that, I mean, like, be honest, like, who really knew about Moon Knight before the show?
I
Like,
mean, some of
come
us
on.
did. Some of us did.
Some,
I
like,
know.
five others, I'd
I
say.
knew a little bit. I didn't know a lot. I knew probably the bare minimum, the tip of the iceberg when it came to Moon Knight. And I kind of read more as the episodes went on just to feel myself. I didn't read too much because I knew that the show was taking from some plot points for some comic book arcs. So I didn't read those because I didn't want to spoil myself. However, I did familiarize myself with the character and its history. What about you?
I think I just jumped straight into it. I mean, of course I had to look up who Moon Knight is because I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can tell, I'm all in now.
Oh yeah, you've
I
been
thought
wearing that shirt for like the past 3 days. I don't think you watched it, have you?
TMI.
Aha, TMI. So today we're gonna be talking about the first episode that you said you already have memorized. I went back and we watched it recently, and oh man, after seeing it like multiple times, you notice so much cool stuff about it
Mm-hmm.
that it's awesome. It makes it's like watching a whole new episode, even though you've seen it like 4 or 5 times. So the episode is titled "The Gophers Problem," and it entirely focuses on it pretty much entirely focuses on the life of Stephen Grant. And Stephen Grant, is this kind of introverted man. Doesn't have very much friends. He's going around London and he works at a museum. Should be like a what do they call the guides museum,
Well,
but just works at the desk at the gift shop.
yeah, he really wants to be a tour guide.
Right, and he's milling around his life. It doesn't seem eventful at all, but you notice off the bat that he has this little contraption to help him sleep. He's tied to the bed. He's got the sand. He's got the tape. Something's alluding to that he doesn't have a good night's sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when you first see him, besides the fact that he's very obviously using a very fake English accent.
No, I think Oscar Isaac has a
Right?
great English accent.
Well, for the character, I'm saying that it's very obvious that he's not native. He's
How
putting on
would
a
you know
show.
that?
It just doesn't sound natural. You
It
can
sounded
tell the
natural.
way
It
he
sounded
talks.
natural to me.
Well, besides that, you could tell it seemed kind of normal, but once you go into his room, it was very off. You know
Oh,
what I'm talking about?
I mean, I guess it's up to your interpretation. But
I know.
I skipped a scene. The very beginning episode shows Ethan Hawke's character, Arthur
Mhm.
Harrow, in his
Oh yeah,
patrol with the glass in his shoes.
Stan.
But
That freaked me out. I'm not
that
gonna lie
was
to you.
that was hard to watch the very first time. Also, fun fact: did you know that Arthur Harrow doesn't exist in the comic books? Like
Amen.
Moon Knight, this series, I'll get to the other character, but has 2 original characters that the MCU has created.
Arthur Harrow is just
They never talk about Ahmet or her avatar, or Arthur Harrow isn't a character in the comics. He's an own original character that they made for the show, which I thought they did a really good job of because Ethan Hawke plays him phenomenally.
I think Moon Knight just has, out of all the MCU properties right now, just has the most potential
Oh
because
yeah,
he's so undeveloped. He's like a new island that's never been discovered yet.
right.
I just
So
don't know how to. Yeah.
moving on, in the episode they tease the Theeniat, which is the 9 Egyptian gods, the council that we actually get to see later on in the series. They tease Talweddit, a little hippo plush that was not, which you weren't expecting to see later on anyway as well. Oh, sorry. Before we continue on, there will be spoilers in this, obviously. So if you haven't seen it, watch the show because it'll all.
What are you doing, man? Just go watch. What are you doing?
At this
Come
point,
on.
what are you doing? You gotta watch it.
You have no excuse not to. But
None.
carry on.
But you see the little teaser for Tarweddit. You get introduced to all the minor characters that actually I've noticed every character you see, whether it's a minor or major character, is reused in some way. So it creates this illusion of, is any of this real? Because they keep reusing the same actors.
Mm-hmm.
Probably to save budget because it was probably shot during COVID, but they use it in a sense to tell the story of, is this all in, Mark or Steven's head? So it works. It works.
Yeah, that's what really had me confused in the new episode. And not the new episode, in the first episode, like, I could not tell what was June.
Right, when he...
it was...
So they do a montage of, Steven trying to stay awake. He ends up falling asleep, and then boom, he's in this European country, I guess.
It looks...
it
looks like Switzerland. He's in the Alps.
The Alps, I guess, is a good, maybe. So he's in the Alps. You get your first glimpses of Khonshu. He's intimidating right off the bat. You don't know what's going on. He's telling him to give the body to Mark. We don't know who Mark is at the point. Well, we do, but first-time watchers of the series will probably not know.
Yeah, I knew who Mark was, but I think the general people who are watching a lot of these shows don't have no idea.
Right, so they don't know who Mark is. He gets down to the city, then you see Ethan Hawke's character, Harold, come out for the first time and show off his powers. He's judging people before they've done any crime. And he's testing their scales to see if they're good-natured souls or not, and axes that poor woman. Steals her lifeblood. He pulls a
steals her soul, man.
Not a Shang-Chi. What's the dude's name from Mortal Kombat that goes, "Your soul is mine"? You know what I'm talking about?
The dude from Mortal Kombat who says,
but I forget, but that's one of his powers. He basically pulls that, and then he gets caught, and he's about to get captured, and then he blacks out. And this is what comes to the first cool point of storytelling this show has. It doesn't fill you in on all the details just yet. He blacks out, he comes to, and everyone around him is dead. He just massacred a whole bunch of people, and you're like, holy shit. What did you do, Steven?
Just to skip forward, in the beginning, we all think it's Mark.
No.
But
Nicholas, wait.
What?
Wait.
It's spoilers, man. Wait. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, but that's a major one. You want to wait for that one.
All right.
Wait for that one. Anywho, here's something, that we all thought was going to happen but didn't. As going forward in the episode, in the car chase scene, he's driving the cupcake truck, and on the back of the boxes, it says Von something. Now, all the theorists out here, including myself, saw that in the trailer, and we thought that had to do with Victor Von Doom. And
I heard that was a coincidence.
And that was a coincidence. It happened to be just a subtle coincidence. But it was like, oh my gosh, this is how they introduced Doom into the MCU. Because Doom is that man. He's one of the baddest villains Marvel's universe has ever seen. But unfortunately, it was just a coincidence. A happy coincidence. So you're moving on. He goes through that truck scene. Wakes up. We think it's another dream. A flash forward more. It ain't a dream because he's finding Ethan Hawke on the bus. He finds him at the museum. He confronts him at the museum. And things are getting out of whack. You are wondering what is going on and what is real and what isn't, right?
At this point in the show, when I'm first watching, my head is spinning. It's like my brain's in a blender, and I have no idea what's real or not. And if a show's able to convince me, if show's able to make me wonder if it's even happening, it's a good show, I think. Like, come on.
A good question. Was it the first? No, it was the second episode. But in this episode, after he confronts Ethan in the museum and he's running away, something I noticed is that you want to always watch in this show is watch the mirrors.
Mirrors, yes.
Because before Mark is introduced as a character, you already see him multiple times in that first episode. When he's running out of his apartment, you see him in the mirror in the shower. He's talking to him, right? When he's confronted by Ethan Hawke at the museum, after he's running away, you see a multitude of things. One, if you see Steven linger on a shot and he walks out of the frame, Mark is still in the frame looking from the mirror. There are multiple shots of the, I think, what they call him, the jackal that he's being chased after. Before it makes itself known physically to the audience, you see it multiple times in the mirror out of the corner of your eye in the back of the shots. If you go back and watch those shots, you can see it before it makes its appearance known. And that blew my mind. It's like, oh snap, you could have seen this like 5 minutes before you're actually supposed to see it.
Yeah, it's a very good way. Yeah, for like, not even just looking for it, like the mirrors are a very good way for people who don't know who that is to like already subconsciously know who it is when they first see Mark Spector pop up.
Not even that,
it introduces the character before the character even first gets first appearance.
Then you get the chase scene, which is really well done. Some people were complaining that, you know, the CGI looks a bit shoddy.
The CGI is it's naughty, I say.
You know, it has its moments where it does look a bit off, but as a whole, I think they did a really good job for what they have. Of course, Marvel has this grand multi-million-dollar budget, you know, spared no expense, but you know, we do live in a time of pandemic. For what it's worth, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe they had constraints, and it's a TV show. It's not a full budget movie. So for a TV show, it looks really good.
Maybe for Thor, they're gonna put the whole entire budget in it, but for Moon Knight, and I think you saw the She-Hulk trailer, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a TV show. They're not gonna put their entire movie budget in it. They probably have a B team that's working on it.
Also, as of this recording, the She-Hulk trailer came out, and a new Thor: Love and Thunder trailer came out. So if you haven't seen it, watch that. But you know, you get to the end of this episode, and you finally get the conversation with Mark and Steven. And this highlights one of my favorite points of this overarching the entire series. Oscar Isaac does a standout, fantastic, phenomenal, stupendous, amazing job of acting with himself. He has a conversation with himself via Mark Spector in the mirror, and he conveys completely two different people, and it's believable, and it works. I think he does a fantastic job. It looks so good. How do you feel about his acting?
He is a standout performance in the show. Ethan Hawke did a great job. Ethan
Hawke is the veteran out of the three main actors, and he does an awesome job too. But just being able to act off of yourself,
he's talking to himself. Right. Like, come on, that's crazy.
And then you get the first summon of the suit. Gave me goosebumps. I was so excited. I was so happy. It looked so good.
And he walks to the camera. I got chills.
It gives you chills, and then especially when it was first airing. I don't know about you, but I was watching it in my dorm with my buddies, and it ends, and then you have to sit with that for the rest of the week until you get to next Wednesday to see the new episode.
I had to. I was watching it on my living TV, and I see it, and he's walking towards the camera, and I screamed.
Like, it was so good.
I screamed at the top of my lungs.
People now, viewers at home now, if you're just during watching it, you have the benefit of just binging it. So you get the back-to-back awesomeness.
You will never understand.
Wait each week. That's how
they get you. Waiting for the show.
That's how they get you. That's how they keep you. That's how they keep you in. But you know, that's how. But it was so hard to sit and wait after that next week because I was so hyped. I was waiting. I was watching all the content on my TikTok, on my social, on my Twitter to see what everyone was talking about. I was excited. So many theories of what's to come, where it was going, what story plot it was gonna take, and it was, in my book, off the bat, already 10 out of 10. It checked off all my boxes of, you know, neuron activation. It got me excited. It got me pumped.
It got the dopamine flowing.
It got the dopamine flowing, exactly. I think that's where, you know, we're gonna leave it. That was the first episode we covered today. So we're gonna come back and cover the next episode. We're gonna do this episode by episode. So make it a little 6-episode miniseries between us and discuss our thoughts So I've this is Travels of the Night mini re-episode talking about the Moonlight series, and we will get back to you guys in the next one. Have a good day.
All right, it's all good.